Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathgami Bhavatu me Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathgami Bhavatu me Jaya Gauranithai Gauranithai Jaya Gauranithai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Namo Vishupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotra Shata His Divine Grace Abhay Chanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya, Beauty Founder Acharya, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Hridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shriva Shadishi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadip मायापुर धाम की जय गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय उपस्थित समस्त गौर भक्तविंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Vishnutai. Prabhupada Kata Prana Nami Bhakti Charu Pradam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Simate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Prachayani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Shetayani. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, text number 19. Savidvarastra karyaha samshuta purusha pusho. Actually, samshuta purusha pashu nayat karna pato peto jatu nama gadad raja. Savidvarastra karya samshuta purusha pashu nayat karna pato peto jatu nama gadad raja. Word by word translation. Swa, a dog. With Varaha, the village hog who eats stools. Ustra, the camel. Karya, and by the asses. Samstuta, perfectly praised. Purusha, a person. Pashu, an animal. Na, never. Yat, of him. Karna, ear. Patha, path. Upeta, reached. Jatu, at any time. Nama, the holy name. Gadad, the Raja, Lord Krishna, the deliverer from all evils. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses praises those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. Purport. The general mass of people, unless they are trained systematically for a higher standard of life, in spiritual values, are no better than animals. And in every verse, they have particularly been put out on the level of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Modern university education practically prepares one to acquire a doggish mentality with which to accept the service of a greater master. After finishing a so-called education, the so-called educated persons move like dogs from door to door with applications for some service. And mostly they are driven away, informed of no vacancy. As dogs are negligible animals and serve the master faithfully for bits of bread, a man serves a master faithfully without sufficient rewards. Persons who have no discrimination in the matter of foodstuffs and who ate all sort of rubbish are compared to hogs. Hogs are very much attached to eating stools. So stool is kind of a foodstuff for a particular type of animal. And even stones are eatable for a particular type of animals or bird. But the human being is not meant for eating everything and anything. He is meant to eat grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, sugar, etc. Animal food is not made for the human beings. For chewing solid food, the human being has a particular type of teeth meant for cutting fruits and vegetables. The human being is endowed with 2 canine teeth as a concession for persons who will eat animal food at any cost. It is known to everyone that one man's food is another man's poison. Human beings are expected to accept the remnants of food offered to Lord Sri Krishna, and the Lord accepts foodstuffs from the categories of leaves, flowers, fruits, etc. Bhagavad Gita 9.26. As prescribed by Vedic scriptures, no animal food is offered to the Lord. Therefore, a human being is meant to eat a particular type of food. He should not imitate the animal to derive so-called vitamin values. Therefore, a person who has no discrimination in regard to eating is compared to a hog. The camel is a kind of animal that takes pleasure in eating thorns. A person who wants to enjoy family life or the worldly lives of so-called enjoyment is compared to the camel. Materialistic life is full of thorns, and so one could live only by the prescribed method of Vedic regulations just to make the best use of bad bargain. Life in the material world is maintained by sucking one's own blood. The central point of attraction for material enjoyment is sex life. To enjoy sex life is to suck one's own blood, and there is not much more to be explained in this connection. The camel also sucks its own blood while chewing thorny twigs. The thorns the camel eats cuts the tongue of the camel, and so blood begins to flow within the camel's mouth. The thorns mixed with fresh blood creates a taste for the foolish camel, and so he enjoys the thorn-eating business with false pleasure. Similarly, the great business magnates, industrialists who work very hard to earn money by different ways and questionable means eat the thorny results of their action mixed with their own blood. Therefore, the Bhagavatam has situated these diseased fellows along with the camel. The ass is an animal who is celebrated as the greatest fool, even amongst the animals. The ass works very hard and carries burdens of the maximum weight without making profit for himself, profit for itself. Now there is asterisk there to explain that point in more, so I'll just read that part. So this is following this line that the ass works very hard and carries burdens of maximum weight without making profit for itself. So to that point, further has been explained. Human life is meant for earning values. The life is called Arthadam, or that which can deliver values. And what is the greatest value of life? It is to return home, back to Godhead, as indicated in Bhagavad Gita 8.15. One's selfishness must be aimed at the point of going back to Godhead. The ass does not know his self-interest, and it works very hard for others only. A person who works very hard for others only, forgetting this personal interest available in the human form of life, is compared to the ass. In the Brahma Vivarta Purana, it is said, Asitim chaturaschaiva lakshams tanjiva jatishu brahmadvi purushai prapyam manusham janma parayayat tad api abhalatam jata tesham atma bhinaninam varakana anashriya govinda charana davayam. The human life is so important that even the demigods in the higher planets sometimes aspire for a human body on this earth, because in the human body only can one easily go back to Godhead. In spite of having obtained such an important body, if one does not re-establish his lost eternal relation with Govinda, Lord Krishna, he is certainly a fool who has forgotten his self-interest. This human form of material body is obtained by a gradual process of evolution to one body after another in the cycle of 8.4 million varieties of life. And the poor man, forgetting this importance for his own interest, involves himself in so many illusory engagement for uplifting the positions of others as a leader of political emancipation and economic development. There is no harm in trying for political emancipation or economic development, but one should not forget the real aim of life. All such philanthropic activities must be dovetailed to returning to Godhead. One who does not know this is compared to the ass who work only for others without their or his own welfare in the mind. So now again coming back to the purport. The ass is generally engaged by the washerman, whose social position is not very respectable. And the special qualification of the ass is that it is very much accustomed to being kicked by the opposite sex. When the ass begs for sexual intercourse, he is kicked by the fair sex. Yet, he still follows the female for such sexual pleasure. A henpecked man is compared therefore to ass. The general mass of people work very hard, especially in the age of Kali. In this age, the human being is actually engaged in the work of an ass, carrying heavy burdens and driving thela and rickshaws. The so-called advancement of human civilization has engaged a human being in the work of an ass. The laborers in great factories and workshops are also engaged in such burdensome work, and after working hard during the day, the poor laborer has to be again kicked by their fair sex, not only for sex enjoyment, but also for so many household affairs. So, Srimad Bhagavatam's categorization of the common man without any spiritual enlightenment into the society of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses is not at all exaggeration. The leaders of such ignorant masses of people may feel very proud of being adored by such a number of dogs and hogs, but that is not very flattering. The Bhagavatam openly declares that although a person may be a great leader of such dogs and hogs disguised as man, if he has no taste for being enlightened in the science of Krishna, such a leader is also an animal and nothing more. He may be designated as a powerful, strong animal or a big animal, but in the estimation of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is never given a place in the category of men on account of his atheistic temperament. Or, in other words, such godless leaders of dogs and hog-like men are bigger animals with the qualities of animal in greater proportion. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurimitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juda Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sagara Raghunatandam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parigana Shaitam Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Badam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanditamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Taptha Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatharu Vasya Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patithanang Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, Very wonderful and strong verse depicting the picture accurately what is the situation with current civilization. So obviously, not a verse which is recommended to preach to the new devotees, but this is actually the real situation. So in this verse, we see that Srila Shukadeva Goswami comparing the mass of people who don't have any God realization, who are atheistic, who have rejected the existence of God. What are the characteristics of them? And that is to see in this present day and age, that is 99% of the civilization, that they don't believe in the existence of God. And that's how everyone has been built throughout our educational societies, educational institutions. So in this specific verse, Srila Shukadeva Goswami, if you just go through that, he has put 4 or 5 different characteristics and matched with the different animals. Like as a human being, like we are so-called human being, but our activities are similar to this animal who are supposed to be lower than the human being. So ultimately it proves the point that even having the human body, people are not utilizing this human form. So let's analyze a little bit more on this different characteristic that has been portrayed in this verse. And Srila Prabhupada very clearly, depicted here, and it is very clear for us. I just wanted to put a couple of points in every characteristics to add to them. So from Srila Prabhupada's instructions, the first one is it's compared with dog. So one time Srila Prabhupada was walking on the Juhu beach with all his disciples at that point of time. Srila Prabhupada used to take morning walk, very famous, and we know that very enlightening conversation used to happen at those times. So one time Srila Prabhupada was walking on Juhu beach, and as we see in the beaches in Australia also, lots of people come, currently with social distancing, we bring their dogs and they walk on the beach. So Srila Prabhupada was looking, at one dog, which is near a garbage bin. It is it doesn't have much hair. It has various scars on its body. Looks very weak, and it seems like the dog hasn't had any food for days and ages. So, and then there is one other dog which was with another person. With the leash, and that dog is very well groomed, very healthy, with big furs. And Prabhupada asked the disciples, "Look, what do you see is the difference? What is the difference between these two dogs?" Then everyone was trying. Yes, usually when Prabhupada asks a question, everybody wanted to hear Prabhupada's answer. So that's why everybody remained silent. And Prabhupada said that just see that the one which is in a good condition, it has a master. So point being here, if someone when the dog is under the control of a master, that's being well taken care of. But if it's not under the under any master, then basically what happened that it become a stray dog in the street, not very much in Australia, but in India we see that there are lots of dogs which just roaming around in the streets. They fight with each other. Then they have lots of during that specific time of the year they have lots of kids, and those kids are also roaming around in the streets. Some kids comes under the car, and very gruesome picture. But when a dog is in the household, it's taken very good care of, So even like in Australia, they have dog saloons and all those things. But anyway, that's a different thing. But here the point is like when someone is under the control of a master. Now, as a human being, here the point is that the human beings are also under the guidance of a master. But are they in the guidance of the proper master? Now, a master is always someone who actually gives everything that he or she has to the disciple, or to all of them who is under their care. But here we see that in material world, most of the so-called, the master, they exploit. They exploit all the people who are under them. And especially in the workplace, we see that under different management, and people always complain that, they are getting exploited. So that's why, we have to understand that whom we need to surrender. Do we have to go and we have to surrender? We have a master who actually takes advantage of us, or we surrender to a master who actually gives us everything. Who is the owner of everything. So we surrender to someone in expectation that we will get back something from that person. But when we don't get it, first of all, that person doesn't want to give. Second, that person probably doesn't have it, because not everyone has everything. So our expectation gets dented, we get frustrated, we get angry, and all these people goes into depression and all those things. So workplace mental health is a very, very big topic these days. Even there is a day these days in the workplace, it says that, are you okay? Are you okay means it's encourage everyone that you should ask your fellow colleagues that, are you okay? Managers are encouraged to sit down with their employees and say that, are you okay? How are you going? So, but as a manager, as a master, you should always, it doesn't need to be a specific day of a year, it should be always. But when there is this relationship of give and take instead of love, then that's why it happens like that. Because you give something and he or she takes something, and then again they gave some, and then the company pay you some money. So basically the exploitation comes there. So that's why we have to as a human being, and as we have regarded that we have better intelligence than the dog, so we should choose our master, that whom should we surrender. We should surrender to someone who can deliver us from all these material miseries. Another pastor, Srila Prabhupada, then one time he was walking on the beach, and then while he was walking, you probably have seen in the beaches that there are these small crabs, the red color. And they and they always remains in a bunch. There's a bunch of crabs were there, and as Prabhupada started to walk toward them, they quickly goes into the water. And Prabhupada asked that, did you just see that? Why that happened? And then His Holiness Bhakti Sarup Damodar Maharaj was there, and from his scientific explanation, he was explaining, Prabhupada, because you are walking, it was creating some vibration, and with that vibration, they also have some vibration came to them, and they've thought that there is some danger, so that's why they want to move away. Prabhupada said, yes, but the real meaning is, the sea is much bigger, much greater, and when someone wants to see that there are some danger, they always go and surrender to someone who is bigger than us, so that there is a sense of protection. Because this is always we wanted to see that for every whenever we surrender to someone, we always expect some kind of protection from that person. So who else better than Krishna can give us that protection from these material miseries? So that's why we need to understand that whom we need to surrender. So that is the first teaching that we get from this example. The second example is for hog. Now the way it has been explained here, like, the hogs, they eat everything. They eat absolutely everything. Now human being not supposed to be like that. Human being supposed to have, like, patram pushpam phalam troyam. But even, like, even if some human being wanted to have some meat or any other thing, they can also have some, they can also have, they choose to have it, because as a human being, we don't have the canine teeth to eat meat, but there is a replica, like, we don't have the proper canine teeth, but there is a replica of it, 2 teeth, that if some human being chose to eat it, it might help them. So, but, like, we see that in human beings also, there is something that there are certain races who eats everything. Like, when I, came to Australia first, like, I was walking in the city and I saw that some restaurants, they have big aquariums outside them. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. People can come, sit down and have a nice, because in back home, we used to keep aquarium at home to make it, it's a good show that you have nice fishes inside there, and it becomes like a good, like, it's a good view in your house. So I thought, oh, maybe this is some similar, like, for people to come, sit down and enjoy all these different kinds of fish. But one thing struck me, that there are so many fish. Like, usually if we put in aquarium, we put different kinds of fishes, but not that much. But here I can see that there are so many fish, like practically they can't move that much freely. There are so many of them. And I was thinking, why it's like that? And then suddenly I saw that a couple of person came out of the restaurant, and there was one other person who was standing next to the aquarium with a big net. And that person and the couple of person who came out of the restaurant, they were pointing, this fish, like, this fish. And that person with the net just put that net and take out that fish and just went away. So what happened is, basically they choose that, okay, we want to eat this fish. And they just went out, and then after 15 minutes, that fish was in the plate for those 2 persons. So saying that, like, it's just, there are places in this world that we see that people just eat everything. Like anything, like, it's even, like, it's described that they eat anything in the, anything crawling in the, on the ground except the car, anything flying on the sky except the aeroplane, and anything swimming on the water except the boat. So you can imagine, like, as a human being also, like, human being has some races that they eat everything. But again, like, we just have to say, like, as a human being, we shouldn't, like, indulge into all these kind of things, like, and this is also said as an exotic food. Now, with this COVID currently, and this is very much appropriate to discuss here in this point, that connected with that it started from a market somewhere in China where all these different kind of foods were sold, which is like we don't consider as a food, but they consider all these abominable kind of different kind of things. And actually they're saying some theories are the disease started from there. So you see, like, if we go out of our human way and start doing this kind of inhuman things, then the results are very severe. So we see that these kind of diseases are coming from there. So as a human being, we have to be really, really careful. And the tongue is very, very, is a sense, the first thing in Isha, in the Nectar of Instruction, Upadeshamrita, the first thing is to, Srila Rupa Goswami instructed us that how to control our tongue. Because that is the most important, one of the most important factor in our spiritual life. So that's why it's very important that, how we actually, as a human being, how we make our choices. Should we go and do all these inhuman things, or we very nicely take Krishna Prasadam, which, like, by Srila Prabhupada, by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we know that, by taking that, what actually we can achieve. So that is the second example, which is for the hogs. The third one is for camel. Now in this camel one is described that the camels, they go into the desert. In desert, obviously, there are no trees. There are only thorn bushes like the cactus. And when they're trying to chew those cactus, obviously, cactus have thorns. And when they're chewing it, their tongue, it gets hurt, and the blood started to come out. And when they're chewing the thorns with their blood, the taste gives them a pleasure, different kinds of pleasure. They say, oh, this tree tastes really nice. Compared to the other trees, they were like dry and things like that. But this tree is very juicy, but they're not understanding that juice is actually their own blood. So that's what Prabhupada here actually explaining that feeling is actually compared to the illicit sex life. Now, when the illicit sex life, someone is going through that illicit sex life, everybody is thinking like, oh, this is so wonderful. But people are spending their own energy, their own money to share, with all the different kind of activities there that you can enjoy. You spend your own money, you spend your own energy to enjoy that, some momentary pleasure. But after that, you just again come back to your miserable life. So, it's just that illicit sex actually doesn't bring any kind of pleasure. And it takes away so much energy, that energy, and that's why the art of celibacy says that that when someone goes through it, they have more energy, they are more intelligent, their mind is more clear, their intelligence is very sharp. So we see that in this example of Villamangal Thakur, right? So he's a very famous author, but in his young life, he was very much attracted by this prostitute called Chintamani. And one night he couldn't just take down his urges, sexual urges, and he said that I want to go to Chintamani. And then his house was between his house and Chintamani's house there was a river. So and there was a cyclone going on at that point of time. So nobody it's just not a mere rain, it's just a cyclone. It was a cyclone. So he didn't care. He just ran away out from his house. He was running through the roads, and he fall down and he scratched all over his body. There were scratches. He didn't care. Then he went to the river, and he saw that there are no boats because it's cyclone going on. There are big waves. He didn't care. He just jumped on the river and he hold on to something. And he thought, when he hold on, and then when he came to the other side of the river, he thought it was a plank of wood, but he saw it's actually a dead body. Now, he was a Brahmana, by the way, but for him, it doesn't matter. So, and then he went to the house, he reached the house of the prostitute, and then the door was closed, and he said, okay, nobody is going to listen because it's raining, it's it's so thunderstorm, so my voice, or if I ring the bell, nobody was here. So he started to climb through the wall. He thought that, oh, there is a vine there and I can climb through through that vine to that room of Chintamani. And he did that, but when he is just about to jump out, he saw that actually that's not a vine, that's a snake, that's a python on the wall. So just see, he just didn't care all these things that usually during the other times when someone has their intelligence, these all situations are considered very dangerous. But when you have this urge, then all these dangerous things just becomes so much you don't just neglect them. So then he reached her room, he knocked, and Chintamani opened the door, and she saw him, and he was just drenched in water. He's scratches all over his bodies, and and he explained how he came. And then Chintamani told that only if you have put this amount of energy to serve the Lord, you would have already got darshan of Narayan by now. And that actually revealed, that enlightened Villamangal Thakur. And then he just left from that place and he went to Vrindavan. So, point being is these examples are we are taking the teachings from them, and they are also guru. In Uddhav Gita we see that there is example of given for 24 gurus, and these 24 different phenomena of the nature, they are acting as gurus for us to learn. So similarly, the one of the guru is also there is given the example of a prostitute. So here, this prostitute also act as a guru for Villamangal Thakur. Even later, Villamangal Thakur said that on that night, he told his Guru Maharaj that actually you spoke through that prostitute. Your instruction came via her mouth, so that my life got delivered. So that's why, it's very important that we understand and we put our mind and energy into the right place, rather than encouraging our animal propensities. And the last example is the ass. So basically, here is the ass. They just work like anything. They got kicked by the owner. They got kicked by their partner. They don't mind. They still go for that. Next day, if they get kicked by their owner, next day they will again go and they will take that burden of carrying the heavy load. When they want to have sexual relationship with their partner, they get kicked out, but next day they want to again go and have the sexual intercourse. So basically, doesn't matter. Nothing matter to them. They basically in this mode of dark ignorance. Because if they think that, okay, the owner is giving me some grass there, but I can get the grass from there also. I don't have to work for him. So it's just like the ass mentality and if we see that during this present day and age, everyone having this same mentality. It's just I'm just working for someone. And just from, it's probably not like the ass. There is some, it's a stylish building. It has all these contemporary furnitures and things like that. We are sitting down there, with expensive suits. But at the same days, at the day's end, we are doing the same thing. So again, what we are doing. So we are just what we are doing as a human being, we are just acting similar to all these animals. So that's what Shukadeva Goswami is bringing up here. He's not condemning all of us. What he's saying that he is just bringing out the real picture before us. So he is just like a doctor, right? So when we go to the doctor, and we don't expect, whenever we go to the doctor, that means, you just don't go to the doctor saying hi, hello, right? You go to the doctor because you have some issues, and especially in this environment, you don't go to the doctor just to see him, right? So if you have some issues, then only you go to the doctor. And then the doctor analyze your symptoms and prescribe you the remedy. So that's doctor's job. And that's what Shukadeva Goswami is also doing here. That he is just analyzing all these symptoms that the people in Kali Yuga have, and he is giving the analysis of all these symptoms. And his, conclusion is that all these human beings are actually, although they are in the human body, but they are actually animals. The animal propensity takes over the human propensity. So then, the doctor doesn't only give analyze the diseases, the symptoms, they also give the remedy. So what's the remedy? So we see that the remedy has been given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very famous, we know that Bhakti Vinod Thakur's song, Enechi Oshudhi Maya Enechi Oshudhi Maya Nashivaro Lagi Horinama Mahamantra Nao Tumi Magi. So Enechi Oshudhi means I have brought this medicine. Enechi Oshudhi Maya Nashivaro Lagi. So Maya is illusion, Nashivaro lage to destroy the Maya. Harinama Mahamantra, what is the Harinam Mahamantra? Is the remedy. So that is, we know. So what's the remedy? Is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And it's actually a fact that, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave that remedy to all the animals. Like, yes, human beings in the animal propensity, but actual animals. We see that a picture is also here in the temple room, that when he went to the Jharkhand forest, he gave that mantra to everyone. And everyone was like all the animals, like the tigers, the deers, the snakes, the monkeys, everyone is doing Harinam. And what's the result? We see that the tigers are embracing the deer. So do we, deers are the, food for tiger. But when the Harinam, they are doing Harinam, that love inside them, the tiger just simply forgot that this is my food. And the tiger is embracing the deer. So that's the result of doing Harinam. That's the remedy for us. So when human being, not everyone is fortunate. This is by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we have this Harinam. And because of this, this we can get out of this animal propensity and come to the human platform. The 4 regulative principle Prabhupada mentioned is not for someone that it's not for someone to think that, oh, now I am a devotee. No. The 4 regulative principle is just to bring you from animal platform to human platform. Then you have proper consciousness to serve the Lord. So that's why it's very important that we take shelter of this holy name. Otherwise, we'll never get out of this animal propensity. In some way or form, this is all, all of them are inside us. The 6 vices, they always push this animal propensity in us. So, the remedy for anything, people are very, specifically now in this present time, everybody asking, what is the remedy for COVID-19? There is no vaccination, there is no medicine. But imagine when someone will come up with that medicine, that person probably will get a Nobel Prize, or that person will be remembered by everyone. Like we know that who invented penicillin, who invented the various other drugs against big diseases. So similarly, the person who will come out of this medicine against the COVID-19 will be remembered. But what is the biggest disease? The biggest disease in this human form is forgetfulness of Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the remedy for that. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he already predicted that his name will be it will be going into all the towns and villages. Because he gave us this remedy. And based on that, everyone will know the name and fame of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So on that note, I would like to end here. Thank you all for attending this class. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nithai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.